Have you ever thought about a dragon so big it creates earthquakes in the sea? The Vikings called it the Purple Death and believed it would bring about the end of the world. This monster lives deep underwater and is so powerful that it was once mistaken for a god. In this video, we'll talk about the legendary Purple Death. Imagine a dragon so big that its movements shake the ocean itself. A dragon Vikings believe would bring the end of the world. Hidden beneath the waves of the barbaric archipelago lies a creature mistaken for a literal god. A monster tied to Ragnarok, the final disaster from Norse legends. The Vikings believed this dragon was Jormungandr, the Midgard serpent, a being so huge it could wrap around the world. When the sea trembles and ships vanish without a trace, the old stories return. They whisper the same name. The Purple Death is waking. The legend of the Purple Death begins long before anyone ever saw its true form. Its egg was discovered by Alvin the Treacherous, glowing with a giant purple gemstone resting in darkness. The surface shimmered like crystal, and Alvin believed he had found the greatest treasure in the archipelago. He planned to claim it as a jewel, never realizing he was standing beside a sleeping disaster. The egg was not a gem. It was the dragon waiting to hatch. The idea that such a world-ending creature began as something beautiful adds mystery to it. It was destruction hidden inside treasure, a reminder that danger does not always look frightening at first. When the Purple Death finally emerges in the story, known as the Legend of Ragnarok, the destruction is immediate. The ocean shakes with violent sea quakes that ripple across the archipelago. Ships snap apart as if they're toys. The ground trembles beneath coastal villages. The Vikings are certain that Ragnarok has arrived. When the dragon rises from the water, it looks like a living island. Its body is long and snake-like, covered in deep purple armor made of coral-like plates layered over each other. Its eyes glow bright yellow in the dark water. Long tendrils hang from its jaw like a beard, drifting slowly as it moves. A curved horn rises from its snout, and it has no visible wings. Its size and weight suggest it can't fly. It doesn't need to. The ocean is its kingdom. The presence of the Purple Death disturbs every dragon nearby. Dragons that normally fear nothing become uneasy and restless. They can feel its movement through the water and the land. The sea quakes it creates are not small tremors. They're massive underwater quakes caused simply by the dragon moving its body. Some of these quakes may not even be intentional. The Purple Death is so large that its normal motion is enough to shake the ocean floor. To the Vikings, this is proof that it is Jormungandr. No ordinary creature could shake the world just by swimming. Its fire breath is one of the most destructive weapons in the dragon world. The Purple Death releases a concentrated blast of gas and fire that explodes in violent waves. This attack is even more terrifying because it can travel underwater for a short distance before bursting to the surface. When it fires beneath the surface, it looks like the ocean itself is exploding. Entire fleets can disappear in seconds. Coastal villages can burn in a single breath. Even legendary dragons known for their power cannot match this level of destruction. The Purple Death is nearly impossible to injure. Cannonballs bounce off its armored plates like pebbles. Dragon fire that wounds other giants barely affects it. Monstrous nightmares, zipplebacks, deadly natters, and even Toothless cannot bring it down through strength alone. Its durability is so extreme that fighting it feels like battling nature, like a storm or an earthquake. Its strength matches its defense. Every movement of its body becomes a weapon. It crushes enemies in its jaws, slams them aside with its tail, and uses its weight to overpower anything in its path. Smaller dragons would be destroyed instantly. Even large dragons would struggle to survive a direct hit. Despite its massive size, the Purple Death is fast in the water. It moves like a deep-sea predator, rising and diving in moments. It stalks prey silently before erupting upward in fire and waves. Because it lives in the crushing silence of the deep ocean, it has an unusual weakness. The dragon is extremely sensitive to sonic vibrations. Loud roars and heavy impacts cause real pain. The roar of a thunder drum or the repeated shock of Viking catapults doesn't just annoy it. These sounds hurt it physically. This explains why the Purple Death becomes so aggressive when it nears the surface. The noisy world above the water overwhelms a creature built for deep silence. During the battle near Burke, brute force fails completely. Rocks from catapults and attacks from dragons only slow the beast. The turning point comes when Hiccup uses a trained changewing named Phantom. Instead of overpowering the dragon, they hypnotize it. The Purple Death is forced into sleep rather than killed. This moment proves how unstoppable it truly is. It wasn't defeated by strength. It was calmed through intelligence and strategy. In terms of size, the Purple Death ranks among the largest dragons ever known. It's comparable to the Red Death and possibly even larger, depending on interpretation. Its body stretches across the sea like a moving mountain. Because it remains underwater, no exact measurement exists, but its impact is undeniable. A dragon capable of causing continent-shaking sea quakes is a threat on a scale few creatures can match. Its growth from hatchling to adulthood will require endless prey. It likely feeds on other sea dragons, including massive species that would terrify any sailor. In the deep ocean, it sits at the top of the food chain with nothing above it. What makes the Purple Death even more frightening is the idea that it may never truly stop growing. Deep-sea creatures often grow slowly for their entire lives, and this dragon seems to follow that rule. This version seen in the legend might not even be its final size. If it survived for centuries, it could grow beyond anything the archipelago has recorded. The thought that something this powerful is still growing following adds another layer of fear to its story. The dragon also shows signs of intelligence. It does not act like a mindless monster. It targets ships first, cutting off escape routes and isolating enemies. It controls its fire instead of wasting energy. These actions suggest a predator that understands battle. It's not just strong, it's aware. This intelligence makes it even more dangerous because it chooses how it attacks. Encounters with other legendary dragons would be rare but catastrophic. Creatures like shellfires or submarippers might cross its territory, and any clash between them would turn the ocean into a battlefield. Most dragons of that level would avoid direct conflict. Even legendary beasts understand the danger of fighting something that powerful. The Purple Death represents a force that shifts entire ecosystems. When it appears, everything around it changes. Interestingly, the Purple Death is not only a symbol of destruction. In the mobile game Dragon's Rise of Berk, it appears as a legendary dragon that can coexist with the village once pacified. In the game, it provides boosts and benefits, suggesting the creature is not evil by nature. It's simply too powerful to live near humans without control. When calm and submerged, it becomes part of the world instead of its end. This adds another layer to its legend. The dragon once feared as Ragnarok can exist peacefully if understood. After the battle, the scars of its arrival remain. Broken ships line the coast. Stories spread faster than the damage itself. Children grow up hearing about the day the ocean exploded, and the sky burned purple with fire. Sailors whisper prayers before long voyages, hoping the Purple Death never rises again. Over time, fear turns into respect. The dragon becomes a symbol of survival, proof that Berk faced the end of the world and endured. The Purple Death stands apart from other dragons because it changed how people saw their world. Many dragons are strong, many are large, but few reshape the beliefs of an entire civilization. The Purple Death is remembered not only for its power, but for the fear and wonder it created. It turned myth into reality, and forced the Vikings to confront something beyond their understanding. In the end, the Purple Death is a legend carved into the memory of the sea, a dragon born from a glowing gem, mistaken for treasure that grew into a living apocalypse. Its fire makes the ocean explode, its body causes earthquakes, its silent movement terrifies even other dragons. And yet, it was stopped not by violence, but by intelligence. Somewhere beneath the waves, the Purple Death still sleeps, and the thought that it could rise again is enough to keep the old Viking legends alive forever.